Let's say that you had a little fire incident. The firefighter comes to you and you ask him, are you sure that you can put out the fire? Or, ma'am, I know how to break the door, but I am still getting trained on how to handle a water hose. How acceptable is that answer to you? You don't care whether he can perform other tasks nicely and one task is learning. You don't care. All you care is, can he deliver what he's hired to deliver, putting out the fire? That's the expectation in the professional setting. When we perform our business, when we perform our job, when we perform our project, that's exactly what is expected out of us. People don't care whether I am good in negotiation. People don't care whether I am good in managing people. People don't care whether I am good in making a business pitch. All that matters is, can that final ultimate performance be delivered? That's the key part of professional learning. We need to deliver a performance just like a fireman. Your customer wants that kind of performance. Your team wants that kind of performance. That essentially means when we are learning, we don't learn how to handle water hose in professional setting. We don't learn how do I break the door. We don't learn how do I interact with the people. We learn for the total job, final outcome, because your ultimate professional competence is delivered through final outcome. You really deliver. Can you deliver it proficiently or not? We are talking about reaching the professional proficiency where your performance is, number one, repeatable. Number two, reliable. Number three, it is consistent, not one-time hit. When the firemen come to your home, you don't want your home to be experimental home. You want that he must have demonstrated that performance consistently in every single home he has gone to. You don't want him to fail just when it's your turn. You want that consistency, not one-time hit. And you want independently productive performance. You should be totally independent. And you want to use at least that minimum performance, what is required for the job. Our customer, our clients, those who you're going to be working in the future, this is what they're going to look for. Imagine that you buy a service. If you are a client, don't you expect these 5 things from the person who's providing you the service? Exactly. You're going to need to rebuild the leadership to be able to deliver this performance. Let's make an assumption that you're in an organization. You're selling something. Your manager doesn't care whether you are good in negotiation skills. He doesn't care whether you are good at people skill. Your manager doesn't care whether you make better relationship. No. All they care is you have been assigned a certain quota. Can you deliver that quota month over month without fail, consistently? No matter what your customer dealing skills are, no matter what your customer retention skills are, no matter your negotiation skills are, can you deliver assigned sales quota month over month consistently? But what if you reach to that quota once? Is that what they're looking for? No. Because what if the next month it goes down? They want to see that consistency month over month for a fairly large period, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. That's exactly the kind of performance what we are talking about. Your performance is reliable. Your performance is dependable, and you are delivering to certain minimum standards month over month consistently. And that's the performance what your customers are going to look for. That's the performance your team look for from you as a leader. And that's the performance what your clients are looking for. This changes the definition of learning. We need to learn to be able to deliver that performance. We need to be able to reach to that point faster. Now, we are not talking about how soon you're going to become good in negotiation skills. We are not talking about how soon you're going to become good in your product skills. Now, we are not talking about how fast you're going to learn skills to handle customers. That learning has no meaning. Only learning that is meaningful to you is, do you reach that level of consistency for your client, for your customer, for your team, for your members, for your peers, soon or not? But when we go for some training courses, most of the time, they teach you skills. They don't teach us the integration, how to integrate all the skills together to reach to that level of ultimate performance in a shorter time. Unless you deliver that outcome to your customer and client, you may learn sales negotiation, you may learn many other skills, but skills do not matter unless those integrate together to deliver a consistent performance. This is a different way of learning. This learning starts with outcome. not with the inputs. So when you learn skills, you are learning inputs. But when you learn to produce outcome, you are learning from the output side. So this is a different perspective. Let's start from the outcome and then figure out what's necessary. What it means to attain proficiency in your job or business or practice. I want you to take a minute to reflect upon what it means to be proficient in your own practice. What kind of service you're going to be providing, what kind of business you're going to be starting, and how your customer is going to view you as proficient service provider, proficient leader, proficient manager, proficient business owner. You need to think about what kind of things you would be doing. What would be your behavior? What would you be delivering for someone to call you as a proficient performer, proficient manager, proficient leader in that specific thing? Can you describe your performance in terms of these 5 goals we just talked about? Recall the time when last time you were required to learn something similar, or you sat on your desk to learn something, or you hired a coach to learn, or you signed up for a training program. Did you ever set any of these 5 goals as your goals for learning back then? Never. With any consultant, with any coach, with any training program, or even in self-learning. No, the reason why you don't learn faster, because you focus too much on learning content, learning skills. You never set these 5 goals. So unlike you set these 5 goals, learning is never going to get accelerated. You need to know where your destination is and how long it's going to be taking you to go there so that you can shorten that path. Now that it's clear where you want to go, should you be spending too much time mastering content or downloading information or learning some specific activity like holding the water hose or skills like breaking the door? Or should you be spending time to learn how to put out the fire? You already got the answer to learning faster. They taught you to make learning as your goal. When you make learning as your goal, you only learn. It does not make you be ready enough to deliver results. So let me draw the boundaries between 3 things here. Learning is that you know something. Performance is you can do it. Proficiency is you can do it again and again consistently and become good at it. When your goal is learning, you focus too much on learning content, gaining information, or learning one specific skill or activity. Absorbing some large amount of content in shorter time does not help here. We are not learning to pass any exam. We also don't need to learn facts because there is Google. Ironically, that's where we spend most of our time, but that time adds nothing to your speed. It adds no speed to your journey for your job, for your work. Rather, it slows you down because now you got a lot of content. You need to learn each and every skill. Everything is going to add up into the content, and that overwhelms you and that slows you down. And then you wonder why your peers are learning faster than you. You got so many things to do because you build so big inventory to begin with. When we focus on learning alone and not the consistent end result, no one would ever view you as a fast learner. So what's the trick? Trick is proficiency. Proficiency is what gives result for which you get recognized, for which you get promotions, for which you get successful contracts. The trick is when you target accelerating your movement towards the stage of proficiency, you automatically accelerate learning and performance. You don't have to do anything to speed up your learning. If you don't make your proficiency as a goal of learning, then you obviously take a much longer time to reach there. You need to learn to deliver consistent, proficient performance. So these are the 5 goals we talked about.